Sounds good.
Oh, I never sat on this couch.
I know.
It's comfy.
Kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of, the ones that kind of like, not hug you, but like really,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know what it, yeah.
It's a good nap couch, that's for sure.
Yeah, I like this.
And
Hello.
she's going to be very in our business this whole time.
That's okay. All right, welcome to another podcast. So I think the name for right now is I Had No Idea.
Okay.
Kind of, you say something or you might have a story or a situation and, someone might say, oh, I had no idea. Or, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea behind it.
Okay.
So welcome back to another episode. Today we're with Mikayla. She is someone that, more recently has been in my life. And it's kind of funny. We've known each other for almost, a good portion of our life.
Grade.
And it's crazy how, the universe works and how it kind of, in my eyes, brought us together at a time where I don't think I would have ever, expected it.
Yeah.
But it's been, really, really amazing getting to know you as a person. You've been through a lot. You've been very open and honest with me and during our friendship. And I think, honestly, you're probably one of the strongest people that I know. And I can't fathom some of the things that you've had to go through. And my heart goes out to you. And I hope that, life only gets better.
It does.
So, and I hope that I'm around to cheer you on with whatever adventures and journeys you have. So with that, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for always supporting. You've always been a big support, and with like the thrifting and the events. So it really does truly mean a lot. It does not go unnoticed. So thank you. And yeah, is there anything you want to say to start things off?
I don't know. Let's get into it.
I think, one of the biggest questions I kind of like to start off with is just, is there anything currently that you're going through or something that you might have just finished or something that you feel really positive and really happy about that, maybe there was an incident at work or maybe there was a friendship or a relationship that maybe you just rekindled or kind of ended, closed the door, that you feel that, you're proud of yourself?
Man. Okay. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but going back to school is like really exciting. I felt very stuck. I feel like Lawrence has a way of making you feel very stuck.
Girl, yeah.
And it took a lot of like motivation within myself to want to even like look at the applications or like decide like what kind of program I wanted to do. And I was between like a couple different programs as well, and so that kind of just encouraged me to procrastinate it even more because I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. And then like, I do know what I want to do. I've always known what I wanted to do, but I like could not get out of that rut of every day the way that everything goes.
Yeah.
But I am starting to, and so that is really exciting.
Woo!
Yes, so I'm proud of myself for that. Yes.
What was something that was there a moment, was there a time, or was there a conversation, with a parent or with a friend that kind of just made you think, you know what, the time's now, or you know what, I'm gonna stop putting this off, I'm gonna apply, I'm gonna really look into it, I'm gonna read into it?
Yeah. Not exactly like a specific moment. I think it's definitely been building. A lot of what I want to do involves like public policy and law, and just wanting to make the world a little bit less shitty from a legal standpoint. And so kind of just everything that has been going on in like the political climate has made me feel like a little bit more of like a fire under my ass that I need to like start, putting my words out there, like getting my stance on things going. But
that's funny. I was thinking about this today or yesterday when I was driving, that I feel like there's so much push with like celebrities to always speak up and to do things, and I just think about a lot, there's not what at least I see, and I'm not as in tune as a lot of people or as I should be, but with people who are on, who like represent the state or represent, that work for the government, that I feel like there could be a bigger, if somebody, I know it's kind of like an apple and a peach, but where somebody who was on, the board or something also had a social media and then kind of was able to balance both, I think it would be beneficial for them because then they'd have two audiences kind of one where it's a lot more old school and professional, but then another side where it could be educating the young people or the younger generations just coming up and kind of just sharing. I don't know, I'm kind of still forming my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like with social media and how impactful it is, having people try to push that and just try to have connect with different generations.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just such a divide.
Yeah.
So if there could be some middle ground,
yeah,
or even just younger people having those higher positions, I think would be super beneficial.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I'm liking the way that there are more like young activists, especially like Lawrence has always, I feel like, kind of been that way, but like like the people that we were growing up with, really getting out there and doing more, working even in DC and all these places. And I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think the younger, probably the better.
Yeah.
Just to keep things like in a progression rather than a regression.
And I can't say, obviously, not being an older person, but I feel like as a younger person, being able to talk to older people, it's a little bit, I think we're a little bit, oh, are you okay? Oh my goodness. Is that her head?
Yeah. I think she hit it here, though, not on the glass.
Oh, okay.
We're okay. My baby.
Whereas I think we're able to kind of lead with more of an understanding, maybe more empathy, compared to, I feel like sometimes the older generation can just be a little bit more closed off, just a little bit more, my way or the highway, so. But that does give me hope for, when our generation gets older, hopefully still, still having that open mind going into things.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So let's see, is there something, a time in your life that was, very challenging that you didn't know, I don't know if I'll get through this, or maybe, I don't know, this is going to be really, really rough, that you ended up overcoming and, you're able to look back and kind of use that or use certain situations as extra strength when you might be feeling, low?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot. There's quite a few of those moments and quite a few different, reasons for them. I'd say like most recently would have been like senior year of college, being in this weird, like, it very much felt like a downward spiral. Like I thought I was like losing my mind and like nothing made sense at all. And I don't really think it had anything to do with the fact that I was like graduating college, because like at the time, like that wasn't my biggest, like, for some reason that didn't feel like the reason that I was like feeling crazy, like spinning in my own head.
Okay.
But I, was making these like insane decisions. And I like ended up going to Australia by myself. And I mean, I am very happy that I did that. Looking back, and it was like 2 years ago today, I was there, and like,
oh wow,
I know, like,
whoa,
like 2 years ago, like this whole season, this semester would have been like
you had just got there, or you would just be leaving?
Yeah, I just got there.
Okay,
and
wow.
So I know, so like all my like Snapchat memories are coming back, and it's like everybody that now I haven't seen in 2 years, and it's like I just didn't appreciate that moment enough while I was there because I was so stuck in this like spinning cycle of like what the fuck is going on, basically. And getting home, the cycle I feel like only got worse, and I just could not find like my center, and like I had no direction, and that's when I started to feel really lost, I think, like even more so than before. But yeah, I don't know. I ended up, this is wild. I ended up getting like misdiagnosed with bipolar during this time.
Were you in Australia?
No, like while after I came home, like my mom was like freaking out about me because I was like, it literally felt like I was losing my mind. I was like, I don't know what is going on, but like this is like not me, but like I don't know what to do about it.
Okay.
And so like when I got home, like saw a few people and like talked things through, and I ended up finding out too that a lot of women in their early 20s are misdiagnosed with bipolar.
Oh.
Just because of how women present as ADHD.
Okay.
And so basically I started Adderall and I'm feeling a lot better now. But
Okay, nice.
but I mean, it took like a long time. Like it's really taken like up until, I guess I'm working every day, but
Mm-hmm.
it has taken a full 2 years to even like come back to a place where I feel like I have a center and like I have a direction and a purpose and like I know what I want and I know like my decision making can be better and it is better. So I would say that would be that moment, especially recently.
Nice.
But yeah.
And if I may ask, like, was the misdiagnose, was it was it because they didn't know, or was it because maybe it wasn't like, was it someone that you've gone to see before?
It was like, so ADHD in women ends up presenting as this like hypermania type of thing, which gives you that like really intense like you just get like the really intense like high highs. So it's like excessive spending, like rash decisions, like
Mm.
booking flights to
Mm.
Australia and like spending all my money while I'm there type of thing. And but I wasn't ever like necessarily reaching those like low lows of bipolar,
Okay.
except for the fact that like there's no like set, like pattern of how like the timeline's gonna be. So they're like, maybe, you're just in this high and like
Mm-hmm.
you just haven't gone there yet. But
Mm.
like it still is possible that you are.
Mm.
Um and so it wasn't really that they didn't know what they were talking about, because like for the most part, like I was just like very much like it looked very textbook for like the mania of bipolar, except for I didn't have that like the like polar part of it.
Okay.
Like the other side.
And how did they test for that? Did they tell you to like journal and then to?
Well, there's in the DSM, they like list off like a ton of the things that are just very much like the textbook version of like what you need to
Yeah,
see.
kind of broad.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of broad. And then they have like a test that you can take basically, and like you do it with like your like psychiatrist or therapist or someone, and like
Mm-hmm.
you go through this exam basically. And like it's like it asks like questions that like you aren't even necessarily like thinking could like hint at being bipolar or not bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, we did that, and they were like, I feel like you have enough of a reason to like start, treating it like this. And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't really know any better. Like how am
Mm-hmm.
I supposed to know what's happening? And then like the first time that like I even tried like medication for it or whatever, I like was like throwing up and I was like, I'm not
Oh
doing it. I'm
no.
not doing it. Like this is not right. Like,
Yeah.
and at that time I had like tried Adderall briefly,
Mm-hmm.
but it was giving me like the worst anxiety at the end of the day because it's that
Mm.
immediate release. So like during the day you
Mm.
get this like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like with it, like I'm ready to go, like
Mm-hmm.
let's do it. And then I get home and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like deer in a headlights,
Yeah.
like just like the cloud, like after Adderall gets out of your system, like you always have this like come down.
Yeah.
And so the day was awesome though. It helped with like damn near everything,
Right.
except for the fact that I was like having this bad come down. So that's also partly why they were like, let's try this.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's always hard because it's very much trial and error, and like you really have to like be committed to like
Yeah.
listening to like a physician in that way, which is also hard. It's
Yeah.
very humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
I one of my friends was telling me she has worked with people with like disabilities, and I think she has her degree in psychology or um, something with humans. Like I don't know, but she was telling me that a lot of things, like outside things without medication, kind of help with ADHD. So like, I have really bad ADHD, but it's not like I have a really bad. I can't really focus.
Mm-hmm.
And she was explaining how our brain receptors, like one might go off to be, if you're in class, you have to focus, and then but mine are going off in the way of someone's phone might ding or someone comes in the door in the back. I have to look,
Mm-hmm.
or so it's like I know why I'm in class, what I'm supposed to be doing, but everything kind of just like is triggering and like going off. Not triggering, but everything is just
It like sets off that like
yeah. where I just, I can't like zone in. But she was saying how hats are a big thing that kind of help you focus because
Interesting.
it's kind of like a comforting
Sensory,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. Glasses, sunglasses,
Yeah.
because it kind of narrows your vision. Heavy backpacks. I've always, for some reason, had just lots of books like in my bag because it was comforting. I liked the feeling, and
Yeah.
just those little things, which really blew my mind as I got older. Thinking, looking back on my own life and thinking, oh my gosh, throughout my whole life, I've kind of helped myself without knowing I've been helping myself.
Yeah.
And thinking, I don't know why I was always attracted to hats, but because it was comforting. I don't know why I always liked glasses because it helped me.
Yeah.
And I would always get in trouble for shaking my leg or for like tapping or
Oh my
something.
God, yeah.
And now it's funny. I give my dad crap about it because I say that helps me like
Yeah.
that. I'm self-regulating.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
Exactly,
annoys
yeah.
you, but like if you really want me to be focused and
You
in,
have to expel the energy or like address it in some way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now I try to when I'm in like more professional settings or things, or even like when I do interviews, I try not to bounce, or especially if I'm sharing a couch with someone or something. But what I find is like I'll clench, like I'm clenching like my knee or my ankle
And
right
then
now,
you notice it and you're like, oh Jesus.
and like that
Relax.
helps.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
instead of me like bouncing, or
Like
instead of
consciously
like,
though?
yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like, okay, Nico, don't bounce, don't tap, don't like fidget. So I don't want to be distracting to you.
Yeah.
But if I can do something that helps me without making it, distracting to you, so yeah, that really helps.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Yeah, I have this like fidget box.
mm,
It like really it's very calming for me. I don't know. I use it a lot, but I try not to use it because it makes all these noises.
I like the noises.
So it's nice though. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
That's
it's
cool.
yeah, it's helpful.
Did you ever do the fidget spinners?
No, I never
Really?
did. No, I felt like those were really popular like when I was not necessarily like recognizing, I guess, more so that like I maybe needed that sort of stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been somebody who's like very like school. I don't want to say it was easy for me, but it was like easy for me. Like I wanted to do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am like so excited to go back to school, but it's also like I need that structure. I need those deadlines. Like I need that like pressure
Mm-hmm.
and the gratification of getting like a good grade and like then getting your diploma and like all that like is really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I completely forgot the question. What were we talking about?
I think the question was just
I don't remember. Yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
the question.
Oh, fidget spinners.
Yes.
I was like, no, like I didn't need a fidget spinner, like, but I felt like were like a lot more popular like in like high school, like college, like in that timeline, and like
Yeah.
I just like never recognized it as something that I needed. But I think like now, like looking back, I understand that like I was more fulfilled and like like stimulated by those
Yeah.
other things that like I just didn't realize was like part of what was going on.
And I don't know if it stemmed from fidget spinners or not, but being in like the mental health side of things, especially with kids, they have so many fidgets. They have so
Oh my
many,
God, yeah.
and I think to myself, where was this?
I know.
If I would have had this in school, I probably would have been so much more dialed and focused and not disruptive and not like goofing around because I had to get my energy out. So yeah, I love that there's so much more of a push and there's so many more options for these kids, and it's become kind of more of a norm, and I've seen it in the schools where a kid could have um they call it like a fidget dragon where it's like a 3D printed.
Oh yes, I've seen
Yeah.
those, and they just like
Yeah, and you can like kind
you
of
get those at Third Planet.
yeah, and it's cool because the other kids are they're like, oh, that's cool. It's
Yeah.
not looked at something where, oh, it's a toy, or oh, put your toys away, or oh, what you're getting
Yeah.
made fun of because of. So
Yeah,
I think that's really encouraging.
no, I agree. I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah, there's some cool ones.
They
The
do.
poppets are fun.
Yes. Yes.
They have fun shapes, and but that's the thing too, where I tend to break them because I'm kind of too rough with them.
Mhm.
There's one that's like it has a marble in it. The old Chinese finger traps.
Yes.
It looks like one of those in a sense, and it has like a marble in it, and then you kind of just push it back and forth. I don't love it.
Interesting.
But I was pushing it too hard, and then it flew out. So maybe it's good that I didn't have those
okay.
as a kid.
Yeah, maybe it would have become an issue, but
yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the fidget spinners and the little endless boxes are cool.
Mhm. Yeah. What,
So
if you can think, what is there any, self, not aspirations, self, like words of affirmation, or
mhm.
is there any, do you use journaling? Do you use talking to a friend? Do you use meditation? Any of those to, kind of help you either when you're in a high stress situation, or things to help you prevent to get to a certain place where it's like, okay, this is too overwhelming.
Yeah. Um, Probably all of the above. I ended up getting this app on my phone
Hmm.
and it's called I Am, and it just like every hour like it gives you a new affirmation, and like
Nice.
they have like widgets that you can like put it on your like home screen, so that as soon as you open your phone you get like this affirmation, and like you can go through and like customize it so that you are getting affirmations that are like kind of like progressing your healing for specific things.
Oh, it's kind of customizable.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
honestly really nice. I do have to pay for it. It's like $2 a month though, but I'm like, I mean, I was like, this is like really good. I really
Hmm.
like this. But yeah, I guess also journaling. I'm writing the book. Yes,
Yeah.
you already knew that. And so I think that helps. If there's moments that I'm like feeling really overwhelmed and I'm like, God, someday, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, like is gonna need to look at this moment and like know that like you're gonna get through it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. And I think that's primarily like why the book has been so important to me, is like, now I look back and I read it and I'm like, I almost wish I could have just finished the book like
Mm.
earlier, because looking back at it now, I'm like, what the fuck? It's like
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah.
But
Different perspective now.
yeah, it's substantially different perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm really thankful that I have those different perspectives, and like
Hmm.
maybe that'll make it better in the end. But I guess aside, like, it is like a form of journaling,
Yeah.
but with like a longer, I guess, end goal,
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I definitely think it helps.
Speaking about the book, this is something you've been working on since 2020,
Probably 21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're about 3.5 years into it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And has that, is there a point where you're gonna get, that you feel like it's complete, or are you gonna feel like it's never complete?
I think that it's gonna have. I feel like this year, like this chapter of my life, and the way that I'm feeling about it, I feel like this is gonna be like the end. Like, I mean, obviously, like life is gonna keep on going, and
Hmm.
like I'm gonna probably be like, oh, I should have. This would have been
Hmm.
cool for the book, but it's also like I don't need to put everything in a book for it to
Hmm.
like still be cool and like
Yeah.
impactful. But
There's already so much in there
there's so much shit in
where it's
there.
like,
Well, and like it started. I mean, because I didn't really start sitting down and writing the book probably until 22. But
okay.
like in 21 was when I was like writing so much, like
Hmm.
in these journals and like in the margins of books and like on
Hmm.
sticky notes, and like I had just said words were everywhere. And like I've always felt like somebody who is much more understandable from anyone's perspective, like if you can read something that I've written. And I love writing. I
Yeah.
love writing. I love it for school. I love it for fun. Like I love it no matter what it is. And so I basically just started, like going through and like transcribing, like certain parts of it that I like felt like were important or impactful. And I remember very specifically, like when I was in Australia, that I nannied like all through like the end of, I guess it was most of college. I nannied through college.
Hmm.
And the girl, she's 18 now, and she'll be going to KU like as a freshman this year.
Nice. That's exciting.
Very cool, yes. But I remember her like texting me because like it would have been like my first summer without them.
Okay.
And I remember her texting me, and she was like really like not doing well. Like her mental health was not good. Like she was just struggling. At that time she would have been like 15, 16, just like kind of getting into like high school and like
Yeah.
boys and like friends and like all the
Yeah.
bullshit that is high school, and
The
like
middle of high school too, where
is
it's,
just a shit show,
yeah,
bullshit show.
yeah.
And like, so she was just not living the dream. And for some reason I was just thinking, I was like, God, like if I could just like tell her that like it's gonna get better. And
Hmm.
like even though like that point in my life was so shitty,
Hmm.
that I was still like, I can say something to her, like I can write something down that's
Yeah.
going to help her through this. And like, I mean, hopefully it does. I love her to death. We talk like nearly every day, but
Mm.
yeah.
Has she read it?
No.
Okay.
She hasn't
Has she
read
read
it.
like blurbs or anything? Or
Yes, yeah, because I have at the very in the intro, she is one of the first people that I like acknowledge
okay.
for it, you know, like in the oh my god, dedications.
Right. Okay.
I think she
Cool.
might be like the first one that I acknowledge
Oh,
as that it's for her.
that's pretty special.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that I sent her that and then maybe a couple different sections, but like she has not. There's not a lot of people that have read it like beginning to end, honestly. There's
Okay.
really not. But I mean like my family very much, but they're my mom is always like, oh my god, it's perfect. I'm like, Mom, that's not why I need you to read it right now. Like I
yeah.
need you to like tell me like what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Writing with authenticity is like gonna be like the best you can provide anyone with anyway.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I think you've done an amazing job. It's. I mean,
Thank
especially
you.
for the first time doing this, I was really blown away.
Yeah.
And I, I think writing is so beautiful, and because what you write could affect someone tomorrow, next week, 2 years, 10 years, when you pass away. You know what I mean? Like that's like one of the only
It's like
things that sticks.
timeless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that and like
Yeah.
music, the things that you create
Exactly.
that will just always be around.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, I'm so excited to see it. In production. I'm excited to hold it. I'm excited to mark it. I'm excited to highlight
Mark it
it.
up.
I'm excited
Put
to
some notes in there.
yeah.
No,
Um,
I think it'll be good. And it's very much a work in progress. It's not something I can like sit down and like just like crank out, just like
yeah.
get it all there because
Yeah.
it's like I'm like still actively like learning and accepting and forgiving and like just processing everything that I it's it is so hard to just sit down and be like I can finish it.
Yeah.
Because I think if all the words in my brain like hit the page, like it'd probably be horrible. But like you never know.
What's something that you've learned about yourself with writing this book and with this journey that maybe you didn't know before?
Yeah. Probably like I don't even something about myself. Oh my god. Uh I don't know. I guess that I can forgive and that, I there was like a substantial portion of my life where like I was just filled with so much anger. That was like that very beginning of like before Australia, like end of college, like I was just angry all the time, like, and I describe it as the red, and it's like I can't see anything, like it's just anger, like it's so much like anger, but it's also like fueled by all these different events that have happened. I'm like scared of something, and I'm guilty of like feeling something, or like I just like those little feelings like that like build it, but I think there was a substantial portion of that time where I was like, I'm literally never going to overcome this. Like I'm just gonna be angry forever now. Like what's wrong with me? Like I'm not an angry person. Like I'm not this person. And that was like really hard for me at the time too, because I was like, this is like not me, and like I'm not happy with the way that like I'm treating myself or that I'm treating others. But I was also like, this is such an alien thing. But like now looking back on it, I'm like, I know that like that was just like a portion of this, and like it was part of like not really being like regulated like in my mental health really at all, or like just in like such an influx period of life, plus everything else that was going on. And
Right.
so um i think I think there's a lot of things that I have learned about myself from reading it, but I think like the biggest one is that like I am allowed to move on.
Powerful.
Yeah.
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 One of my friends shared with me something really cool that his counselor had said to him, and it was, he was kind of in this depression slash sad, I guess just chapter in his life era for a little bit, and it was kind of hard for him to see anything else, feel anything else, And his therapist was saying, for such a long time you've been feeling this, so it's kind of almost a comfort. It's what you're familiar with. So she was explaining to him that you just really have to push yourself to feel these other feelings and to ignite these other emotions. And when you were writing in your book about the red, I kind of thought about that too, where you were probably so just inflamed and enraged, and that probably became a norm for a little bit or for certain times. And
Yeah.
My dad always talks about too how hatred can really almost feel it really kind of takes over, and
It's
I think
heavy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think at times too it kind of feels powerful. It
Yeah.
kind of feels like you're juiced up, or that you have a big adrenaline going. And yeah, I just think I think anger leads to so much pain and to so much suffering, and it makes me sad seeing a lot of people go through that and not work through it. I wish a lot more people would work through those things, and of course it's hard and it's challenging, which is why a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I understand, but again, just big kudos to you, because some of the things that are in that book that have happened in your life, Mikayla, really are just true testimonies of how powerful and how strong of a person you are. So
Thank you.
I also it's so great. I've been able to really reconnect and to really get to know you, but as well as your mom.
Yeah.
And you two are just amazing people inside and out. And are there things that you can kind of think, oh, I really have this similarity with my mom? Or are there things that you're thinking, you know what, I don't really necessarily get this from my mom, but I love that?
I love everything about her. I think she's amazing, and I quite literally would not be here without her. In a lot of different ways at this point now. But one thing that my mom has always, I feel like, led her life with love. Like she is an extremely compassionate person.
Yeah.
Like excessively empathetic, honestly. And I mean, it's beautiful, and I think it is encouraging, and like it is very inspiring to me. I've definitely picked that up from her because we both have also reached that point of like burnout, because it is so easy to like just want to give and give and give all of your love, and then all of a sudden like you wake up one day and there's none left for you. Yeah. And you're like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Right. Like everyone's looking to me, but like I have nothing left to give you.
Yeah.
And so that is something that I've unfortunately picked up from my mom. But she lives the life that like she chooses, like she has so much passion for, her job and like for the community and like for her family as fuck, and like our animals, all of the babies, and yeah. No, I admire her every single day. She is an extremely strong and inspirational person to be around, for sure.
Did you notice that as you were talking about your mom, it literally got brighter?
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Oh my God.
I was because I was like looking, and I was like, oh my God, the sun is like, she's coming out. She said, Mindy.
The universe. I'm telling you.
Yes.
When you're really in sync with yourself and with your life and with what you're supposed to be doing, I really do believe that the universe
gives back.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so bright in here right now. So
that's crazy. But it has been cloudy all day.
Yeah. And it finally started to wow.
I know. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good sign. Definitely. And I looked up what 333 meant, because that's what we like.
Yeah.
Everyone looked at the clock, and it's
right before we started. It was 333.
Yes, and it said you are supported and don't need to do it alone. You have an opportunity for deep healing. You should infuse creativity and emotional healing into your life.
Wow.
Among other things, but I was like, damn.
Dang.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to, I do really, really appreciate your friendship that we've had. Yeah. I mean, when I came back, and even still now, it's a weird point where, I have what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I'm really trying to go after it. And at the same point, it's also, with friendships in my life, I've had a very hard time letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I don't want to put all of the blame on my abandonment issues, but it does kind of stem there. So it starts there.
Absolutely.
But having to realize, who really loves, who really shows love, who really supports, who really is going to be there, who really, will make time out of their own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the biggest things is just showing effort in
Mm-hmm.
relationships and friendships and anything. So it's been refreshing and it's been a breath of fresh air to have that with you,
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily, in my mind, when I was a kid, I thought friends were hang out all the time, see each other all the time, call all the time, and different friendships are different.
Right.
And it's been lovely figuring and finding out that there's so many other friendships that can be in different ways, but can still be just as valuable and
Yeah.
just have just as much love in them.
I definitely also think that like as like we're like in our mid 20s, we're like getting to that point where like our brain is like finally fully developing. And so I feel like a lot of the friendships that I have now are very much like soul tie type friendships. It's like, it's there's not a lot of words that have to be spoken for like somebody to like know that, you need support, or like know that you are like happy or excited about something. And it's, it is so easy to like compare, yourself to everyone else. And like at this point in time, just because everybody is doing so many different things. We've got people getting married and like people having kids, and then I'm finally going back to school, and like you're finally like starting this like whole business and like enterprise, and it's like everyone's at this different place. And so, it's about like a mutual respect that I think we are finally capable of like truly giving people.
Yeah. You put that very, very well. I definitely agree.
Thank
it's
you.
it's a great time to be alive, and it's also a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just with what's going on in the world and the hurt and the pain, but what we have within ourselves. And it's something I thought about that. What you said made me think of. People will post things on social media, and sometimes with like the news, what could be going on overseas or in the country, and they were saying, I was watching this video, that us seeing that is traumatic, because we see the horror in the faces, we see the horror in the voices, we see the war, and that a lot of past generations didn't have that. They had maybe a picture in the news, maybe a phone call with their parent or a family member saying, "Hey, this had happened," to get informed. But I can't even fathom what that does to us mentally and internally, on top of just the day to day what we go through.
We're I think definitely becoming like accustomed to trauma, especially like I think it starts earlier than us too, because we've got like 5-year-olds having like shooter drills, and like like I think maybe in elementary school I remember like one like bomb threat drill maybe, and like this is something that they're doing like fire drills, and like like that already, like the possibility that like just the possibility that that could happen, I feel like is traumatic.
Yes, I was just gonna say, the tornado drills we had a lot of, and remember we used to go over here to the over
right
there
to I don't even know why we did that, but like, because why? Was that like fire?
Fire, yeah.
Because I was thinking about that too. Like once I like moved over here, and I was like, why were we doing that? I was like, there's no way that was like our tornado drill. Like, because like then we're out in this field. Like, what do you mean? But it does make sense if it was like a fire drill, probably. But it was wild.
Whenever I drive past, I always think of that.
Yeah.
Just light it up in there.
Yeah.
In this weird fence that has barbed wire over it.
Like,
and then, like army trucks on the other side. I'm thinking, well, I guess we'll be okay from war.
Yeah. Like,
but the fire, I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, hey, Mikayla, thank you so much.
Of course.
It has been an honor. It has been so fun being able to sit down with you and talk. Thank you for being so open and honest and sharing all of these stories. I know sometimes it can be difficult, but
this didn't feel so difficult. So
good. I'm glad. And I'm excited for the book. I'm excited for this next chapter, and I know we keep in contact, but
Yeah.
thank you again for always supporting. And it's so nice to have someone who has good intentions.
Yeah.
In my life. So
I agree. I
So thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anything you want to say, or any questions or anything, just to end things off?
I don't think so. Nothing is like blaring behind my eyes or anything. So
Yeah. And this
yeah.
this doesn't have to be the only one. We can always do more. You know,
Oh,
if ever
I was
even
gonna
you.
say, I feel like we could, if I didn't have to go to work, I feel like we could probably talk for hours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit we could go over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool too to have one with you and your mom.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. Oh yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Your mom wants to do videos with me, but like we're out in public.
Oh, I would love that. She would literally start giving people like therapy sessions.
And I'm like, Mindy,
crazy.
Please, like
No,
what? I was like, I would
love that.
I would rewatch for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah.
She'd be out here like giving advice to like everybody that she talks to.
Yeah.
And like somehow probably sincerely impacting their lives.
Oh.
That's just like the way that she like seems to work.
Yeah.
Like everything she does. But
yeah. It's so powerful just when the true intention is behind it.
Oh yeah.
So she definitely has that. You definitely have that. So thank you. And I don't know how to really end these. Do you know the trick about high fives? You look at the
Nice.
That was pretty good.
That
was pretty good. Well, hey, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have anything that you want to see, any questions that you ever want to be asked, always just leave them in the comments or anything like that. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I guess I can end it whenever you're watching this. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all that good jazz. Thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing swell. And kind of just because.
I like it.
I used to kind of do those little things.
Maybe you need like a mic drop.